Hello and welcome to the show. Today we look into the story of Jean-Claude Dittrich, a survivor of a car accident that left him paralyzed from the chest down. In a position where many might have given up hope, Jean-Claude was the absolute, complete opposite. He set goals, pushed boundaries, and lives his life to the fullest. His dream is to enter the 2020 Paralympics. Here's the story of a man who shows you that if you have hope, you can achieve anything.
It all started was just a normal summer's day. I was on the farm with my dad and my parents, and it was about 9 o'clock, packing the car. I was on my way to my girlfriend. At the time she was in Uppington. I was on my way to Clave. The GPS told me to take a right on the R358. There was a car coming from the other side, and there was a pothole in the road, and I just couldn't avoid it. And the front wheel rode into the pothole, and the car rolled. I must have rolled at least about 40 meters, easily, 40, 50 meters. And I broke my neck on impact. And actually what caused it is that the roof caved in, and it caved in onto my head, and which cracked my C6 and C7 vertebra, which caused me to become paralyzed. Lying upside down, made a bakkie stop. Bakkie was a farmer, capsized the car again. He turned the car over, and when he turned the car over, they tried to get me out of the car, but they couldn't get me out of the car because the door wouldn't nudge open. So they had to break the part of the door open, and they had to pull me through the window, if that kind of makes sense. And they laid me down on the ground. They took me to Friendel Hospital. At Friendel Hospital, they stabilized me. That was at about 4 or 5 o'clock I got there. 911 arrived there at about 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock at night. We rushed to Cape Gate Mediclinic. At Cape Gate Mediclinic, I got there at about midnight. I had to do an emergency operation in the morning. They phoned the doctor. The doctor went for a CAT scan, and I did everything that I needed to go. They must have operated at least about 6 hours on me. They did a bone fusion, which is they take a bone out of your hip and they put it into your neck. They replaced the cracked vertebra, basically. I was 1 week in Cape Gate Mediclinic. That's where they transferred me to Vincent Pallotti Rehabilitation Centre. After transferring me to Vincent the Rehabilitation Centre, I had very limited arm function. I had no hand function. I had no upper body strength whatsoever. I couldn't eat, couldn't drink. I was there for 3 months. I got discharged. I came there on New Year's Day. I got discharged on 6th of March. Going back home, sure, everything changes. The way you eat, the way you dress, the way you sleep, the way you engage with people, because your life is not the same as what it was before. Everything, your surroundings and everything is just different. You depend on other people to look after you. So I just did small little activities each day with my family behind me, just working on my arms and working on my hands and things like that. Eventually, about 2 years ago, I got admitted to the Sports Science Institute in Newlands, Cape Town, where I underwent 9 months of rehabilitation, intense rehabilitation, where they worked on my strength, my upper body strength, my lower strength. They worked on my hands, they worked on my arms, they worked on my shoulders, and they transformed my life completely. I mean, without them, I wouldn't be able to do what I was now. If you had seen me 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago, I would be falling out of my wheelchair. I would be going like this. I couldn't be able to do anything. I couldn't even lift myself. I mean, doing things like that. It's small little things that make a big difference. I just kept going because I'm positive by nature, and eventually I started getting involved into sports. I started off with wheelchair upping, and then that wasn't for me. I didn't enjoy that. And then eventually I started off with cycling, and at the institute they've got machines where you cycle on, and I started using those machines to cycle on, and I met a couple of friends and that was into hand cycling. and I borrowed a few of their bikes to cycle because the sport is so expensive. I mean, it's like you anywhere between 40 and 60,000 rand for a new bike. But I got this bike for 32,000 through a sponsor, which I was very lucky for. So I don't rely on other people. I now have my own bike. At the moment, I'm from my chest down, because it's a C6, C7. When I had my accident, I had a little bit of triceps and a little bit of biceps, but after intense rehabilitation, it's improved with time, where I've almost got full function back in both arms. So through my C6, C7. However, I'm still paralyzed from my chest down. I've even got more function than what I had before. So the higher your brake, the less function you have. The lower your brake, the more function you have. But you can improve your function with rehabilitation and exercise. And at the same time you're doing sport and cycling, you're doing rehabilitation. I've got a very lovely support system. I think my biggest support system for me is my family. It would be my father, my mother, friends, family. It would be my girlfriend. I've got quite a wide variety of support. I've got trainers, I've got people around the country that support me. Because I'm one of the youngest cyclists, in the country. And there's people that's been doing it for years, and they give me all the experience. They share their experience with me, and just in general, and of course the home that I live in. The home from Masonic home, quadriplegics and paraplegics is probably one of the biggest support systems of my life, is because without them I can't function. Without the staff getting in the bike and getting out the bike, because we're lying quite flat down, so I need quite a lot of support there to help me. So without them I can't function. So that's why the home is so important for me, because we are one. Your whole life changes. I would say one of the toughest that I've ever had to face was to come to grips that I would be in a wheelchair for the rest of my life. I would say that would be one of the toughest ones. I didn't know how I'm gonna go about my life. Being in a wheelchair has changed me and has transformed me. It's done some amazing work, because you look at the world in a different perspective as what you were in a wheelchair. You would have never thought of simple things like going to the shop, and maybe there's stairs going into the shop, and now you can't go and do your shopping because of simple stairs. That is an obstacle. People don't think about it. Driving, climbing into the car and loading your wheelchair, but you need hand controls in order for you to drive. Washing yourself, going to the toilet. I've got a 2.5-year plan, and I've got a 7-year plan. A lot of people have said to me that 2020 is too close for me, and they want to prep me, because on average where you usually peak is between your 30s. So between your 30s and your 40s is usually where you peak. Now, me being at 27, I've got the time to play with. I've got lots of years ahead of me. So even if I do not go to the 2020, there's still a lot of other competitions that I can do to prep me for the next one, which is in 2024. A lot of people have advised me that I'd rather go to 2024 than 2020, just basically on the fact of just preparing me mentally, physically, emotionally, because it's a long procedure for one competition. You have to be able to handle the criticism. You have to be able to handle there's so many people that judge you and criticize you, and your weight distribution has to be right. You have to eat right. You have to be fit enough. You have to be psychologically, and it can break you psychologically if you do go there and you're not 100% prepared. So it's better to go in and be prepared than unprepared. So my 2.5-year plan will be to enter the OCC next year. I don't know if you're familiar with the OCC. So the OCC is in George each year, and it's one of the biggest disabled sports in not just South Africa, but people from all over the world come and compete there. I'll be entering the 21 kilometer. It will be my first OCC race. And the thing is, with the OCC, you can go with a normal wheelchair and you can push the 10 kilometers or the 21 kilometers, or you can take a hand cycle. But not everybody's so privileged to have a hand cycle. As you know, it's expensive. I've told you that it's quite expensive. So going to the OCC is my one step, and then doing the August next year. That will be my ultimate goal. So I hope and I pray to go to a few international competitions next year. So a lot of people told me that it can't be done, this can't be done, that can't be done, you're way over your head, you're crazy, you're doing crazy things. And I've told them, you know what, since I've been disabled, people have been telling me I've been doing crazy things. So when I was in the hospital, people told me I'll be in an electric wheelchair for the rest of my life. I'll never be able to live a normal life. I'll never be able to live an active lifestyle. I'll need a caregiver around me 24/7. I'll never be able to live more or less independent life. And I've broken a lot of barriers already. So I'm just that one crazy person that is prepared to go and do those things and prove them wrong. Masonic Home for quadriplegics and paraplegics has helped me live a fruitful and eventful life, because without them I wouldn't be able to do sport, I wouldn't be able to do anything really, because they give the roof over my head, they give the care that I need, they help me in and out of my bike. It's simple things like that, but it's so important. And institutions like this in South Africa is very important, because we would be selfish to close this institution down if we cannot be able to afford it, because what did the next generation do? Where do they live? Where do they go? We need to pay it forward. So the residents that do live here, we work extremely hard to keep the uprunning of the home. My hope for South Africa is to teach people and educate people on disabilities, not just in sports, but just to be able to show them that you can live an independent and a fruitful life. To not give up, to keep going, to keep staying motivated, to keep engaging in activities, to not just go lay down and give up. And it would be in the best interest of South Africa is that we have great athletes, and that people just support one another, so that we can take part in these competitions and show the world that we're not just a country where we sit back and not do anything. Don't feel sorry for people in wheelchairs. Don't, because we're just normal like everybody else. We're just a person. We also have feelings. We also shower. We also eat. We're not different human beings. We're all in the same boat. Just because I can't walk and I use wheels doesn't make me any more different to you. So I would say just love one another, respect one another, and appreciate what you have. My personal hope, like I said, I've got a 2.5-year plan and I've got a 7-year plan, and I would be nothing more proud of myself, and not just of myself, and make everybody else proud, is to be able to bring back a gold medal to South Africa. That is my ultimate goal.
Wait, outro. Thank you for tuning into the show. Thank you for tuning into the show. No? To support JC in his journey, support the Masonic Home by pledging to pay. To support JC in his journey, support the Masonic Home by pledging to donate 50 Rand per month. For more information, visit the Masonic Home's Facebook page. Thank you for watching. We'll see you again tomorrow. Spread the word.